What's going on? It's Fizz. There's my widow speak. Yeah, so I'm back at another video, and it's a realization that I've always had, but I wanted to get it while it's fresh and hot. And it's a good topic, but it's realization. And it's just there's a couple things, but one, you have like all the knowledge, all the power. Get some nice scenery. You have it all. Don't believe what people are trying to tell you, what you learned growing up. It's all fallacy. It's all lies. What everybody was trying to tell you, it's programming. And that's okay for the most part. But do you want to live intuitively to that programming? Or you can work your way around it, or not be involved with it at all. I know people feel different ways about this. Everyone's full of shit. No one has nothing you don't already know. It's simple. And if all you have to do is spend some time alone, go in wherever you live, the woods, go by yourself somewhere, that's all you have to do. Then you'll realize even more if you can't do it where you're at. It doesn't matter where you're at. The knowledge is already here. You already have everything. You are the power center. You have all the creativeness. You are creation. Creation's all around you. You're full of life. You're full of everything. Don't lose that life. Don't become dull. Everyone just has an opinion about everything. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like, has nothing to pertain to you, because you have everything. You are the life force, the energy field, magnetic field, however you want to look at it. A lot of people are civilized, or they run in a society, and I know, but as I said, you can just sit by yourself, go out into the woods or beach, wherever you live, and go subtropics, jungle, and go see like what's actually out there if you need to. But like, you already have everything, and people act like you don't. And the reason you wouldn't is because no one's ever taught you anything, or don't know any better, or even thought or even wanted to teach you, or kept you blind, had a veil on your face, kept it secrets. Come out in nature and see like what's really out here. And this is gonna sound like I sidetracked it, but I'm not. Like, you go in nature, there's not like, and I understand we cultivated it and we civilized and all this stuff, that's fine, but people are acting like they have something that you don't have, or they can do something that you can't, whether it's physically or mentally or whatever. That's a bunch of bullshit. On top of that, fruits, it depends on where you live, but in colder climates and in the forests and the woods, there's not fruits out here. You're not going to be surviving on fruits if you actually lived out here. The only thing that's out here is wild animals. You wouldn't even waste your time going to pick these plants, and there's really not many out here, especially in the colder seasons. And there's definitely no grains. You need like a lot of grain. You need to cultivate that. You can't just find grains, maybe a little bit, but you're not going to waste all that time. Definitely not all the time. It's all animals out here, and this is for like the carnivores, the paleos, vegans. I already knew this though. It's a realization. I'm still like getting better per se, that is, but I already knew like all of this because everybody intuitively already knows everything, and someone else trying to, political leaders, gurus, just any leader in general, depending on how they're playing their role, but you already know everything. And like, I always knew this, and just as I was saying, you already know all the answers. You don't need someone to give it to you. Everything's just basically a bunch of bullshit, a dream, a fallacy. And as I was saying about the food source, you know, like, there might be some nuts, maybe some seeds, but you're not living off of that. It's just ridiculous. I'm not even gonna spend time laughing, basically, even though it is kind of funny. But I understand people aren't living in the woods, that's fine, but you can't just change someone's diet and radically do that. I mean, maybe you can, I know there people are, but to be the best and optimal, of course you would use anything. And is it survival or is it thriving in their civilization and cultivating? You wouldn't be doing that though, and I understand that a lot of people aren't doing it, but the thing is like, you can't just change your ways, like change the human diet or change the human thing. You know, like you can kind of like formate and change how the body's constructed. There's some people who make their necks longer, their limbs longer, heads smoother, flatter, rounder. Yes, you can do that, but no one's actually changed the physical being of a human being. Again, we're all a soul and we're all a being. But it's just ridiculous because you can't. And I'm not saying it's not possible, because I do believe in anything, because you got to have the open mind. But in reality, you're not gonna, like, if you were out in the woods, you'd be eating meat all the time. Like, you wouldn't even waste your time doing these other things. Maybe if stuff was in season or growing, but a lot of stuff doesn't even grow wild, and if it does, it's few and far and it's sparse. I mean, just looking out here, you know, there's no food out here. It's freaking meat. It's animals. That's what you're gonna eat. Fish, whatever. Of course, it does matter about your geographical location, but if we're gonna go all the way up into like really cold climates like Antarctica or, you know, Canada, or just anywhere that's super north, Sweden, Norway, Russia, parts of the east, whatever you want to call it, because it's all just fabricated. There's definitely, you're gonna have to eat animals. And if this is just a conclusion that's coming to, if you're gonna have to eat animals, then this should be a way for everyone. Now, I'm not saying what I'm saying is 100%. I'm not saying people can adapt to eating fruit and grains. I mean, of course they can, they've done it. But is it healthy and is it optimal? Are people gonna thrive off of this? And I've said this, and I already knew this. Well, it took some time to really learn this, acclimate it. I mean, I had to go through my vegan struggle, and I'm still recovering. But I'm getting better, but I need to focus more on me. You can't focus on anything else or anybody else till you focus on yourself. You can't make some... You have to be healthy or go through something to help somebody else. Usually you have to be super healthy to do that. You know, there's so many different things and whatever. But if you need to realize something, come to your senses, spend some time with yourself. Don't distract yourself. You can learn it all, whatever it is. Everybody's trying to tell you this and that. You're raised up on that and this. It's all just a bunch of BS. There's no books out here. There's no libraries. And I understand, yeah, you can go get one nowadays. And of course there's civilizations all along in the past and what. But what were they doing? We don't know nothing about them, and it's in the past. It's history. I mean, unless we could time travel or something. But regardless of if that's real or not, what's going on right now? Don't worry about the past, because ultimately it's over. It is interesting, yeah. But anything more than likely, 99.9% of the stuff that I learned, or people tried to teach me, whether it was, you know, definitely at school, or just people here yipper-yapper about whatever. It's a bunch of bullshit. Usually people are just building on what someone else was starting to build. And that's usually what it is. I mean, if you like it, if you enjoy it, and if that's what you want to follow and feel successful with, that's fine. You know, there's really not a lot to life. It's really simple, and some people enjoy the simple life. There's still people that do that. But when you get into civilization or society, you know, they tend to make things more complicated than it actually is. And I could see that, and especially consumerism and all these ideas floating around, and then food options and stores. You know, like no one even needs all that excessive stuff. You're only thought into a lore that you need it, or even for the matter, want it. Yeah, and I'm not going to look at the screen that much because this path is crazy. And I don't need to, because I just don't need to. Just in case they'll be, oh, he's not giving eye contact. Well, yeah, because I'm watching where I step and I'm gathering my thoughts to say them. And just, realize what's around you. Go out in nature. Go out somewhere where it's far away from people. Or, you know, just somewhere. Take some time to yourself. See what's around there. See what really means something to you. Because we may have advanced into stuff that's, you know, we didn't have to really build anything maybe, because all the buildings or houses, shelters, whatever, are already here for the most part. It differs between the person, but for the most part, the cities are already built, the roads are already there, most vehicles are already there. Technology and people's thoughts, ideas, and opinions are just building on one another, just like music. Music is the same thing. All the arts, all the stuff. A lot of people are followers because they've never been taught to look outside that cage, or blockage of thoughts, ideals, ideologies. Like I heard some like real like classic hip hop, you could say, or rap the other day, like real simple stuff, which it was good, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, on the radio. And of course they don't play that type of stuff that often, and I don't even listen to the radio. I just got a new car with a radio in it, but in a good, somewhat good system, and I've been feeling better. So yeah, so I played it, and I could tell, because I heard like kind of blues music before. I mean, I've heard a lot of music, blues music, rock and roll, just like standard poetry, which probably stems a lot from it. Hymns, hums. I've heard a lot of it. Did I actually follow it? A lot of it? No, not really. But what I'm actually getting at is, you know, like hip hop, the rap and the pop today, these all came from somewhere else. And I could hear it when I heard that old hip hop, just the way it was, because that's kind of how they sang blues, or like bluesy rock and rolls. I don't know I don't remember the guy's name, but one of his songs, like Bad to the Bone. And there's just so many things out there, really. But this builds off like this old blues, jazz, rock, you know, this built in the hip hop. It all stemmed from one place to another. And it's just always building off of one another. Like that's how pop came, or the new school rap. This is where it all came from. Wow. Didn't get down there, but yeah, so be really interested in something that you really want to do, that your heart wants to follow. If you got to take time off, if you got to take weeks off from whatever you're doing, whether a job or whatever path you think you're on, but maybe second guessing it or confused about something, you know, life, especially back then, it's a lot slower. There was no need to rush anything unless something drastic or tragic was happening or about to happen. You know, life's meant to be simple and slow. And I understand how the society, 9 to 5s, keeping up with money, financial needs, economically, and just how people are in certain areas and how they're rushed. It's consumerism, capitalism. Always feel like you need to buy something, but to buy something you need man-made money, which is like a middleman to get something. And I'm not saying none of this is wrong. I'm just expressing my thoughts and seeing, like, you know, where I'm coming from and what you can learn from this. Because everyone's going to feel different about everything. But if you need to, take some time yourself, take the need, slow down, see what you enjoy in life, what interests you. It could be completely different from everything you know or knew, and everything you thought you wanted did, and everything you had taught. It could be completely something no one else is doing. And that's like the thrill of it, baby. What someone else wants is not going to be what you want. And don't, you know, get yourself together before you try to get other people together. Or at least make some effort towards yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are everything around you. And it may take a little bit to realize that, or a while, some may never. That's fine. And they may be needed to reincarnate into another life and take another adventure. That's fine too. But, you know, what really means something to you, people always rush around. If sex what matters to you and that's what you want, go get it, you know? Don't let people tell you you don't need to have sex, or you need to wait till marriage to have sex, or you shouldn't have this much sex, or you should only do it this many times. If that's what you want to do all the time, then go get it. See what it is and see what it's for. If you love it and do it for the rest of your life all the time, non-stop, and that's what you enjoy and thrive off of, go do it. You know, you don't, and you may get tired of it. It may get played out. You may not want it. You may want intimacy. You may just want to go around with anybody and whoever all the time. Everyone's different. They come to different realizations, and it's about what you want. Don't let people fool you with like spirituality or religion. It's how you feel. If it makes you feel good, and if it makes you, it all depends on how it makes you feel. But if it makes you feel good, then go do it all the time. You don't feel good about it, stop. You know, have some inclination to yourself. Stop propagandizing. That's not a word. But like, stop the propaganda with yourself and be real with yourself and see how it affects yourself. If you like drinking liquor and alcohol and you feel good, and I'm not saying you do, but let's just say you do, and you know, you feel good and you love it and you want to live that life, not because someone else is telling you, not because someone else is doing it or forcing you to do it, whatever, or forcing yourself to do it. Vice versa. It should be how it makes you feel. If you feel good off it, energize you, and you like it, then keep fucking doing it. If everyone says it kills you and you do it and you feel maybe stronger, better about drinking alcohol, whatever, you know. Everyone has different doses of everything, and sex doesn't mean something to some people. Some people don't want sex. Some people want the highest level intimacy. They want to wait their whole life and be a virgin. That's fine too. Obviously, they weren't that curious about it. And there's some people, you know, but then there's outside sources and the environment, the media, civilization, society that are making us think, oh, we need to try sex or go do this, you know. Look at a child. We got to look at just the natural things. Go out in nature. Go look at a child, or maybe a very wise person that can give you some knowledge. You know, no one has the answers for you. They're never gonna have the answers for you. It's impossible. People that look for answers through somebody else, you know, someone can help them maybe learn something they want to learn, that advance their craft or speeden it or build up on it. Like as I was saying, most stuff's just the building up on something else, and you just keep building. Hence, just people who like construction and actually building masonry, which is bricks, houses, different types of houses, tiny homes, tree houses, you know, RVs, roads on wheels, van life, whatever it is. There's some people who like that. There's other people who don't have interest in, you know, but you don't have to dodge someone else, duck someone else because their interests, you know. It's showing care and love for everyone and having respect for their choice, whatever it is. Person smoking a cigarette's no different from you. You may hate cigarettes. I do. But, you know, that person's it's not like he's not a human being. He's still a being. The essence of life is all the same force, but it's magnified in different ways. in different altitudes. You can even, not aptitudes, longitudes, I can get into a bunch of different rounds, but you know, everyone has that same being. Everyone wants love, security, happiness, joyfulness, bliss. They want to be healthy. They want to be, for the most part, energetic, and they want to do whatever means to them. And that could be, and that's even broad in a way. It really is, because anything can mean something to somebody, and it's going to mean something to different people. Not everyone's going to feel the same about the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're Jesus. Doesn't matter if you're God. People are going to still go against your beliefs, their God versus their God, whatever God it is, you know, even if it's the ultimate, the divine. People are always going to be, you know, contrasting to what you're doing. There's different tribes, villages, societies, cultures, states, there's different locations geographically. Everyone's going to live their life to what they feel good for them, and it's going to be completely different. And holy shit, I walked kind of far. And that's just how it's going to be. Don't expect people, don't rely on someone else, anybody. Rely on yourself. You're the only person that's going to get the job done. And really take interest to you. And don't be ashamed that maybe or feel, you know, don't force something. And especially like ideas or ideologies on other people, whatever it is. You could maybe say it by them, but you can't help somebody who doesn't want help. And not everyone's going to want what you want. They're not going to be ready for it. People are going to have different levels of awareness, of consciousness. And it's super simple. I'm not using big terms or nothing like that. And some people are going to be fine where they're at. They're not going to want to advance or do something like that. And my phone was kind of close to dying. I guess it's not that cold. Well, I've been moving too. I don't even got my jacket on or my hat. But is there levels to life? If you want to look at it that way, some people don't even look at everyone looks at something different. Some people don't look as if there's even levels to life, depending on what you're meeting. Some people are all about business, whatever. That might not interest you at all. You might not want to even deal with money. You might have to deal with money. You might want to get away from money. You might deal with it, but still try to get away from money. Or you might just part ways and you might subside, deal with money, and try to make your own thing or do your own thing. Or you might just go completely roll with it. You know, don't listen to other people that you have to follow their ideas, their rules, obligations, rituals, prayers, books, speeches, what they have to say. Anybody can say anything. Some people don't want to listen to other people. Some people don't need to. Some people might think they might feel inclined. Some people don't want to speak. There's truth to that too. May not need to speak. Some people love speaking. Some people don't have the balls to speak. Some people will gain it. Confidence. And some people have confidence, but again, don't want to say it. Some people can't take the truth. Some people aren't ready for it. Again, you can't force something on somebody. That's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel about the situation and your thoughts on this particular life I was describing, which could be anything really. Have a nice day. Thanks for tuning in.